Righto, Pete. Now we're going to talk about the glory days, the revival of the Bears, and what we all loved was the 89 reserve grade grand final victory over your Parramatta Eels. I remember like the semi-final series. Here we were beating all these teams and thinking, what a chance to make the grand final here. And then I think we beat Parramatta, I think, in one of the semis, and then Canterbury to go to the grand final. And then we beat Parramatta again, and we had star-studded lineup. We actually had heaps of kids, the Dave Fairleys, the Billy Moores, and we also had Kerry Boasted on the wing that day. And you guys, Parra, I remember, had Johnny Muggleton. I think that might have been his last game as well, and a few of the former first graders. Yeah. What do you remember about that year of '89, being the Parramatta coach, and then and how'd you end up coming to Norths? That year.
What I remember about it was very sad, Ross. Now you've gone through.
Mate, I'm excited. I loved it.
No, it was a weird sort of end of that '89 season. John Mooney accepted an offer to go to Wigan, to coach Wigan in England.
Yeah.
And the rumour was that they were going to offer me the first grade job at Parramatta.
Right.
And then another rumour come up that I was going to be assistant coach at Parramatta with Michael Cronin.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so none of that happened, because the last couple of years at Parramatta I worked for John Mooney for his company. I didn't actually work for Parramatta.
Yeah.
So no one approached me, and I was just waiting in limbo to think, well, am I finished up here or am I going to go on?
Yeah.
And it was an easy decision for me to go to Norths. I knew I could. Obviously, there were some good young players. You just mentioned a couple there. Yeah. I did a lot of video work on them throughout that '89 season.
Yeah.
And Steve Martin was a fairly good rugby league coach, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And he was given the job, the first grade job.
Because he came down from Tamworth, West Tamworth or something like that.
Yeah, but he actually got in contact with me and said, well, can we meet for a coffee? And this is while the season was still on.
Yeah.
And so he offered me the job to be reserve grade coach, and I accepted. And then we continued to be against one another for through the semis and the grand final, and even to the point of the semi-final time, North Sydney were having open day trials.
Yep.
And I was finishing my training at Parramatta, then going over there and making a decision on some players.
Oh, having a look at
over
the clipboard,
the Parramatta, the North Sydney guys.
And David Hill was around then.
David Hill was there. He was in charge then, and between Steve Martin and David Hill, they cleaned the place out for the start of the '90 season.
Yeah.
They had to make some tough decisions on some players that were there. He let a lot go. Steve. I think that year might have bought Jacko.
They were definitely in negotiations. I remember seeing that in the Sunday paper. There was rumours about Jacko coming to the Bears.
So Steve started to get a couple of players that he thought would improve.
And Paddy Jarvis he brought across.
Paddy Jarvis, and then Mario I think come later.
Oh yeah.
And but they were all good buys. I was very happy doing my job there. I was there for 3 years doing the reserve grade coach and coaching job, and we won, as you know, a couple of comps.
Oh yeah,
and we got beat by Brisbane. I think the first year I was there, who eventually won the comp. So it wasn't a bad loss for us. But then Steve decided to move on. He was finding it a little bit difficult there with some of the players. I don't know the full story, and I never really bothered to ask.
No.
And then Dave Hill offered me the first grade job.
Yeah.
It was quite daunting for me again.
So
I'd had a long apprenticeship. I had 9 years reserve grade coach, and then I had to sort of pick up or break ties up here with my permanent job, and then take on a job that was full time. Down with the Bears.
But you, as you said, you doing all the video work on the Bears in reserve grade and stuff. You would have seen all the talent that was coming through with the young kids.
Well, I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed with what was there to work with.
Yeah.
The only thing I really did at North Sydney after some hard decisions were made, I changed my defensive pattern. because I said to Steve, I said, this is what we're doing here now is not working.
Yeah.
And so I changed the defensive pattern and put people in position in reserve grade that probably weren't, probably weren't suited to that spot.
Yeah.
But fitness-wise, they could do their job defensively.
Yeah. And coming from Parramatta, like being entrenched at Parramatta and then coming to North, could you sense there was a big change about the place? Like, could you sense the excitement and the energy and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we'll see. I was there in the good days with Parramatta, and I could feel the demise of Parramatta when we left. And then it was really uplifting for me when I went to North Sydney, because I just felt that there was a lot of good talent there that could probably pick up and do.
Well, being a supporter, like we could all sense it. Like, we were all so excited. We're watching the young kids coming through, and we had some bad losses. We had some narrow losses and stuff, but you knew something special was around the corner.
Was around the corner, and I felt that too as well, because I often thought that if I was going to go to another club, even 2 years previous to this, that North Sydney would be an option for me if the opportunity arose.
Yeah, and there's a heap of kids from the Central Coast that were kind of breaking through at that period at time as well. Kind of established the Bears or the Central Coast as a nursery for the Bears.
There's quite a few. Craig Makepeace ended up playing first grade. Danny Williams, who went on and did better things.
Oh, there's heaps of them.
There's quite a number. Shane Ward, there was a young fella up here who was a fantastic footballer and ended up playing under 20s, I think it was, with North. When did they win the comp? Did they win a comp?
With Mark O'Mealy and stuff like that.
With Mark O'Mealy. Well, he was a gun. He was one of the guns in that side.
Oh yeah.
And but he never went on with it. It was just a shame.
Yeah. After going from the reserve grade, and we're just talking about Steve Martin, you would have been behind the scenes and pretty excited like us throughout that 91 semis campaign when we beat Manly and stuff. And,
most definitely.
Well, we won the reserve grade comp too.
Yeah.
So you would have seen all the excitement and what was going on behind the scenes there.
Yeah. Well, like you said, the feeling in the place was good. We were up there in club championship wise. The first grade was winning, the reserve grade was winning.
And Bear Park was getting full every week.
Most definitely, and there was a real good vibe around the place. It was only a matter of time. That was my opinion. That something bigger would happen. But I felt a little bit sorry for Steve when he decided that he wanted to go, because he did a really good job there. Really good job.
Oh, that's probably one of the best days of the life. My life at the 91 semi when we pummeled Manly. That was just awesome. And I still think to this day that 91 was our year. We scored 3 tries to 2 in the preliminary final, and we just couldn't
and the
go.
goalkeepers didn't do the job.
I wasn't going to go there because I'll probably get shouted down by the Den members and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm still gutted to this day, because I reckon 91 was our year, and I reckon if we had won a comp in that era, we'd still be running around today.
Yeah, probably.
In the top grade.
Good call.
I still think.
Well, Darryl was a fantastic goal kicker, and he probably won games for North Sydney throughout the year. But just that day,
the day it eluded him. Yeah. Oh, I still. Because the way I see it, and probably people may agree with me or disagree, I reckon we win that game, we go through and have a week off. Penrith and Canberra absolutely belt the bejesus out of each other, and we're sitting back, thinking, how good's this? And I just reckon we would have had, the nuance to go on with it, but obviously it wasn't to be. But we'll leave that bit there, and we'll then go from say 91 and 92 when Steve Martin finishes up to when you take the helm and you take us through till what, 97, 98, 99?
99, halfway through 99, it all fell over for me. But 93 was, like I said, reminded me a little bit of my first year at Parramatta in 84, because it was a big learning curve. I had to get. I thought I knew the players, but once you get that close to them and start dealing with them every day of the week, things had to change a little bit, and I sort of picked a few weaknesses in the squad. I thought we needed a really good talking halfback and a guy that could kick us around the park.
Cool.
And we were fortunate enough to be able to pick one of those up for the following year, '94.
But we'll come back to that. We'll have a break here, and we'll come back and we'll revisit what we're going to talk about, and we'll pick it up in just a minute.
Okay.
Righto, mate. Thanks.